I'm going to sneeze. There you go, I've sneezed. COVID for everybody. All part of the service. Right. We have this. Isn't this lovely? Part 2 of this. And part 2 will hopefully give me an idea of what parts are required. And so if you haven't seen part 1, for heaven's sake, go and see part 1. Ready to play? Part 1 was excellent. So we've got 3 blinks on this. Did you notice, by the way, I forgot to mention it, but the blinks were rather weird, weren't they? For a 3 blink code. Very fast blinks. Normally an error code when it comes to Panasonic are 1 per second, but this was 3 blinks in a second almost, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Isn't it? Right, I'll take the back off it. And I just want to check it's not a failed screen, so we'll unplug the screen, and then if the TV tries to come on as normal with the disconnected screen, we'll know it's the panel which has failed. That means there's nothing we can do. People will say, oh, well, you can... Oh, that's interesting, screws missing. Mind you, somebody has been in here before. People always say, you can sell the parts on eBay. Yes, you can. But I never do. My old boss has just started selling parts on eBay because he's got hundreds of boards, hundreds. And he's doing quite well out of it now. You have to persevere. I think he said you have to stick up something like 30 boards to start earning. You can't really just put 1 board up and expect that to sell and then another board. So 30 at a time, and then half a dozen to a dozen a week start to sell. Which is a very good idea. Right. So the back's going to come off. We'll test that it's not the screen. We'll do a little test on the backlights. And then we'll have a look at the main board. I do have main boards for this. Didn't think I did. But I forgot at one point in our history we were a Panasonic authorized it. Well, we were Panasonic, Sony and Samsung at one point. So we had parts galore. And I do note that the computer says there are 3 main boards for this in our inventory. Which means on a shelf somewhere at the workshop.
Now you may have noticed that my voice has been getting considerably quieter over the last 5 minutes as the last remaining voltage of battery power in my microphone drains out. So I'm going to go to voiceover style and it's going to go to main microphone, but just to let you know, obviously this main microphone is going to get a little bit louder, and I didn't want to blow up your TV speakers or subwoofer or however you're watching it. So just to catch up to date, I have got a main board in stock, but we're going to do a few tests first. We're going to see what condition the main board's in. Maybe there's something obvious there. We'll disconnect the screen, disconnect the backlights, and see if that takes us any further down the line. So at this stage I thought we'd take a closer look at some of the boards and how the TV is put together. So I'll get out the mobile cam and we'll have a close-up at some of the bits. As I told you earlier, the microphone unfortunately failed on me, but I'll leave the audio in that's picked up by the video camera here. The audio is not great, but it will get us through for now. Because there's a little power supply input there. You see some coils and some caps and a couple of MOSFETs there. We shall have a look at those just in case the main board is repairable.
always thought this was always precariously put down. It's not very good, is it? I mean, when you put the back on, it's fine and it grips it, but it doesn't look that doesn't look great. Oh, and of course, if I'm going to unplug the screen, which I am going to do, it means I'm going to have to remove some screws there and unplug the screen. Then we'll plug it in and see what happens. So let's do that first. So at this point I thought it would be a good idea to disconnect the screen from the T-Con, or disconnect the screen from the main board anyway, and let's just see if the 3-blink code disappears at all. Strange blinking code, isn't it? Shall we disconnect the inverter next and the backlights and see if it goes away? Good idea. We're going to disconnect the backlights, not the inverter board, just the backlights. So I'm going to pull out the plug from the inverter board, which means the inverter board is still connected to the power supply, but it's the backlights that are disconnected. Right, let's switch it on. Do we get green light again? No. It's back to the 3. So now I'm thinking about having a close look at the main board, but let's disconnect the inverter board from the power supply first, because we've just disconnected the backlights, but we haven't disconnected the physical LED driver board from the power supply. See if that makes any difference. To let you know in advance, it did. It made quite a big difference. Unfortunately, I didn't get the mobile cam to record it, but we got a steady green light for a second, and then it went to the 1-blink code, which is what we were expecting to find yesterday with bad backlights. So everything is now pointing towards this board here. The truth is, I can't remember at any particular time in the past when I've had a problem with inverter boards. I keep seeing a lot of these inverter boards for sale on eBay, thinking, who's buying them? Because I've never had to repair any before. I've never had any problems with them. But after getting out the multimeter here, this is the multimeter, I've just got it in diode test mode, and unfortunately you won't hear, but that one goes bleep bleep bleep, the one next to it goes bleep bleep bleep, the one to the right hand side is fine, and the one to the left hand side is fine, and the other one is partly shorted. You can see 6 transistors there, and they've been cooked. They've gone. Now there is a repair kit for this, which is quite cheap. It's only £6, but you know, who knows if those resistors haven't taken anything else out. The problem that I have now is to buy a board for this, because I haven't got any of these in stock. People are asking top dollar for these. They want about 30 quid, and I don't think it's worth spending that sort of money on the TV. But for the channel, maybe, just to get it up and running, but I'll see what I can do first.